Yeah, if 420s, we react to King Copper cooking videos. So 420s, yeah. Yeah, 420s, we react to King Copper Day of his cooking videos. So if someone was 420s, we react to the, yeah, to the cooking videos, yeah. And also, if nobody donates 420s, I'm gonna be reacting to King Copper cooking videos. So if you want to see King Copper these cooking videos on this room, yes, you donate 20. Yeah, that was you. This one is you consumer price increase more than expected in August.
U.S. consumer prices posted their biggest jump in 7 months in August, driven by higher housing and food costs. The Consumer Price Index reported by the Labor Department on Thursday showed consumer prices rose 2.9% in the 12 months through August. That's higher than the 2.7% increase in July. However, the data is not expected to prevent a much anticipated interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve next week, against the backdrop of labor market weakness. The odds of a rate reduction fell slightly following the report, but remain near 90%, according to the CME FedWatch tool. The combination of higher inflation and deteriorating labor market conditions could fuel fears of stagflation. August could
Yeah.
be the start of a long anticipated upward trend in inflation as businesses pass on higher costs from President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs onto consumers. The Consumer Price Index rose by a larger than expected 0.4% last month, the biggest gain since January. It was driven by a jump in the cost of shelter, which includes rents and hotel rooms. Food prices also climbed higher, with the cost of food consumed at home soaring 0.6%. Tariffs have boosted the price of coffee, while the cost of beef has also surged. The pass through from Trump's tariffs had been gradual, but businesses have now depleted their pre tariff inventories. Business surveys have for some time been signaling imminent price increases. One economist from Santander U.S. Capital Markets told Reuters that the evidence is overwhelming that more tariff related inflation is coming, though it may still be several months before it passes through fully.
The next one is U.S. consumer influence increase in August, stabilized clump source.
Welcome back. We have new data on a key indicator about the health of our economy. The consumer price index was up 0.4% for the month of August, and it follows a rise of just 0.2% in July. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is at the New York Stock Exchange for us today. Kelly, thank you for joining us. What does today's report tell us?
So a couple of things. One, the 0.4% inflation rate that you mentioned, that's a monthly number. The annual number that this came in at was 2.9%. And that ticks up from the previous report that showed just 2.7%. So basically what that tells us is, one, we are getting further away from the Fed's 2% target. That being said, this isn't runaway inflation. And that's why you are seeing the markets react very positively today, because this did come in at that annual number right around just as expected. The monthly number was a bit hotter. And so you sort of peel back the onion. Where are the areas that we are seeing upward price pressure? Unfortunately, food at home is one of them. So think your grocery items, also shelter. And of course, those are things that we need to have. Those are not the nice to have discretionary items. The other thing that stood out to me was energy was actually up. And the past few months where we have sometimes seen the consumer price index come in a little bit lighter has been because energy prices have been lower. Then you sort of go further, right? We've had all of this talk about tariffs over the past couple of months. And are we seeing upward price pressure? The answer is yes, in some very specific areas like apparel, like motor vehicle parts, like furniture, right? Those are things that we are getting from overseas. And so what this overall tells us is that we are seeing the consumer price index tick up, that inflation rate tick up. We are seeing businesses pass some of those tariff costs on to consumers, but not at the, oh gosh, things are going crazy rate that people feared. So that's sort of the good news glimmer of hope here.
So Kelly, all of that considered, does this change anything for next week's interest rate decision?
Because it came in line at that annual number, next week we are almost definitely, almost definitely, I want to say 100%, Mugo, going to get an interest rate cut. The question is by how much? Because the other thing that did come out today is unemployment claims, people filing for unemployment for the first time. And it was the highest weekly number that we have seen in nearly 4 years. And so what that's sort of telling the Fed is, yeah, we're seeing prices inch up a little bit, but that labor market weakness is likely going to be the priority next week.
Okay, Kelly O'Grady at the New York Stock Exchange for us today. Thank you so much for your time.
This one is, we told you shopping cart? We don't. Mine's haven't come to, yeah.
Grocery shopping sure is exhausting. The store's all the way up there, and the corral's all the way over there. I wonder if anyone would mind if I was just a bit cart careless. Would it be fair or faux pas? For today's research, we are at Stop & Shop, the chain founded in 1914 right here in Massachusetts. The Natick location was the chain's 100th store. And while manager Glacia Afonso praises her customers' etiquette, she says there's always room for improvement.
Are there ever offenders? Are there people out there that don't return their carts, that look both ways?
Yes, when it gets cold, most people don't want to take the extra step in the cold. If it's raining, people will, become a little lazy. We have a courtesy clerk, which is someone that's out there retrieving carriages, bringing them in at all times from opening to close.
In Natick, those duties belong to Colin St. George.
So on an average day, how many straggling carts do you think you have to bring in?
On a very busy day, I would say around maybe like 25 to 30.
25 to 30 carts.
25 to 30, wow.
That's a lot of carts.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Is that dangerous?
It is very dangerous, yes. Especially if it's windy, the carts could be rolling down. It could hit a car.
Yeah.
It It could hit a person if somebody isn't paying attention, so it is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, this cart
Yes.
is an offender.
Yes, it is.
What makes this particularly bad?
What makes it particularly bad is it's on here. Not only is it blocking a parking spot, it's also messing up all the mulch that we have to do. And it's just not a good look for when you come in.
But what do the customers think? Is it ever okay not to return your cart?
I don't think so, especially in this parking lot here, because this one's very hilly. I see them rolling all the time into people's cars. And
I always get the carriage or two from here before I go shopping, and it's like carriage karma. Like I want to, on the whole, have my life end with my net total carriage points being inwards.
Still, it can be tempting to leave the cart collecting to Colin, especially for mothers with young children.
Sometimes I think about it when I have my kids and if it's far, but I try to always return it just because I think that's the right thing to do.
Now we go to the judge. Does Barstool Sports' Dave Portnoy return his shopping cart?
I try to. If I can't see one close, I may not. Like, I'm not going to recircle and go on a hunting expedition to find a shopping cart return. But if one is in reasonable length that I can see, I will return it. You got to at least put on a good show. Like, hey, I'm looking for it. If you see someone who's not even pretending to care to return it, then you got to give them the stink eye.
The final ruling on being cart careless? Faux pas. So be safe while you shop. Anything less is a miscarriage of justice.
So I definitely don't do that, but I do give parents with small kids a pass because navigating those carts can be a little challenging.
Yeah, I'm with you on the dispensation with parents with children, but total faux pas otherwise. This drives my sister crazy. She always says, all these people spend 2 hours a day in the gym, but they can't get the cart 20 feet back to the store or the corral. Take it back.
Yeah, and Glacia says another example of bad grocery store etiquette, when you see shoppers eating the produce without paying for it, that's called pick and pop. We get to that one a little bit later.
And also, let me see. On Lolcow, no, Lady Alex was in interview. So let's go.
All right. So, all right. It's been an interesting morning. There's so many questions people want to ask you to start out already. So I don't want to hit you with like a bombardment of this. So if you just want to give the people like a rough, like how you got into predator catching and what you do.
Absolutely. So what we do is we catch online child predators across the country. I run a group called Predator Poachers. We have arrests in 48 states, convictions in 43. And yeah, typically we pose minors online or other scenarios that involve parents of minors, and predators across the country message us under that assumption, and they either get sexual online, go to meet for sex, and we approach them on camera, hope to get some evidence out of them, and usually we do, and we turn it over to law enforcement, and it's yielded over 200 convictions nationwide.
Wow.
That's amazing. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, so you started your foundation in 2019, correct?
That's right. That's right. And we didn't start really getting arrests until 2021.
I know somebody in particular had a question because I know you mentioned how like the decoys and with minors. Do you use minors with like parental consent, or how do you get decoys for predator poachers?
Well, everybody we use is over 18. But when we first started, back when I was 19, we did have one of my camera guys' little cousins who was 16. And the first picture I used was of my little brother. Just, I really had no one else to use. I was like, oh, well, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the extent of it.
That makes sense. Okay.
So my only question is, out of all your accolades that you've achieved, because you've clearly done, like, as many things have you just told, and there's more to come. Which one are you most proud of? Would it be the EDP?
Yeah.
I figured it would. A lot of people feel like that would be. I feel like it'd be something else.
No. We've caught way worse people than EDP. I know EDP is the most notable. Unfortunately, it was done in Bakersfield, which we've learned the hard way that Bakersfield will not prosecute these people that we bring to them. I mean, we've caught other people in Bakersfield too, including sex offenders, and every single time it's been a lack of prosecution from the DA over there. And I know Gideon caught one there recently too. And you know, he had a guy dead to rights. They actually did arrest him, but then charges ended up getting dropped for absolutely no reason. So, yeah, Bakersfield is a no-go for predator catching. Unfortunately, I would thought at the time it was like our first, or no, it was like one of our first few catches in California. I was like, oh, Bakersfield is going to be better than LA County. LA County's not great either, but little did I know. But I'd say the most happy I am with a bust has to be probably Jeff Griswold in we caught him in Roseville, Michigan. He's from this little town called Langsburg. He was meeting who he thought was a mom and a daughter, and we called him the mac and cheese pred because he said he came in his 4-year-old daughter's mac and cheese and mixed it in, among other things. But he was talking to, you know, the mom and the daughter, and I guess we had a decoy son there as well. And he wanted to have sex with all of them. He confessed in person on the hidden camera to molesting all 3 of his grandkids when they were under a month old. And then when I went to go interview him, he confessed to it as well. He confessed to having child pornography, and of course to meeting the kids and all that for sex. And he brought sex toys too. So I'm happy to say that he's charged now in 3 separate counties as a result of our bust. He's already convicted in Roseville, where we caught him for meeting the parents for sex and all that stuff, and for the child porn. He is now has a trial coming up that he's probably going to take a plea deal on for the child molestation he admitted to in Clinton County, Michigan, and in his home county. God, I forgot what it was called. His home county. Let me see. Hold on. I think it's Perry County, maybe. Let me see. Langsburg, Michigan.
So the reason why I asked this question is because, like, a lot of people are notable to the things that you've done when it comes to EDP, but people don't understand. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a visceral reaction. We watched some of your stuff last night, and I believe it was this really pudgy Minecraft, like Reddit built kind of guy that you were going after, and you just got him to like sit there and, as a calm person, sit there and let him admit the most disgusting, heinous things to you. And you keep such a professional attitude. Like, I've had my chat rip me apart because I'm known as the goofy, loud guy, but I wanted to bring this professionalism because I respect you for you keeping your composure, your cool when you're dealing with these situations with some of the most disgusting reprobates on the planet.
Yeah. No, we that's the way to do it, man. I mean, you know, the person sitting in front of me, we want them fully prosecuted. You know, when I was 19 years old, we didn't take it as seriously, but I was just pretty much out. I mean, less than a year removed from high school at that point. We're just going around just screaming they're a pedo. But, you know, when you get older, you start to mature and you see the extent of how bad these people are. Because, you know, when we first started out, I mean, you know, we're on dating apps. And I'm not saying that people on dating apps don't need to be caught. But, you know, if you're on an over 18 dating app, you're probably not looking for a minor. Now, there are exceptions to that. And, yeah, they would go for a minor, but you know, it is probably their first time doing something like this. But we started to in 2020. We started to decoy on like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. And there's communities full of these people looking for children, and you start to see see the gravity of the situation, and you're like, holy shit. And so, you get better at what we do. We find what works with talking to these people, find what doesn't work. And a lot of them talk themselves into very long prison sentences.
They do. And my follow-up question is that I'll let you get right back to it. I just want to get a couple of mine in just because my brain works weird. So out of all the people that, how do I say, I'm sorry, really quick. So you got me just a little fucking nervous. I'm not gonna lie. You just hold on, Zay. Go ahead and ask a question while I reflame myself real quick.
So recently I mentioned to you, like when I reached out, that there was somebody who was a PDF sympathizer who we at least now think has some ties to potential did we lose you?
I got a disc. I guess because Discord on my phone, so it took me to another location. Just to re-ask that.
Oh yeah. So I was saying, when I initially reached out to you, I mentioned that we had somebody in our community who we recently got out because he was like a PDF defender for someone who was actually known to be the first ever Roblox predator. And the biggest reason that this guy has never been charged is because he's in Canada, and a lot of the things have happened like with people in other countries. I don't know if you know anything about that or like where we could take things further, because we have proof, admittance of this guy admitting he's a pedophile, and what we could do with that.
Well, do you have like proof that he was soliciting minors online and
we have proof that he getting nudes and doing Skype calls with them. Yeah.
Well, I would have them file a report where I don't know where he's in Canada. Is he like in Ontario or?
I think Toronto, if I'm correct.
Toronto
is in Ontario. I don't know, man. I would just reach out to Toronto PD and ask what you can do. I mean, I'm certainly no expert on Canadian predator catching. So
yeah, have you ever done any in Canada before, or do you mainly do
we have one arrest in Canada in Niagara Falls, and our guy PP Long Island, one of my branches, also has an arrest in Niagara Falls. So they've been great, but if he's not in Niagara Falls, I really wouldn't know how to go about it besides just calling them and asking.
Yeah, that's at least helpful, because it's been a wild ride these past few weeks, which is mainly why we wanted to reach out to somebody who's like more of a professional, because we know you've been doing this for like, what, 5 years now?
6 years, yeah.
Yeah, 6, because 2019. I was like, it's 2025 now. I'm still in 2024. So what do you think was the best direct result that you've seen of like your work that you've done in these communities? Like, what was the like best arrest that you've gotten?
Well, technically, the best result was in this town called Center, Texas. We caught a guy named James Burke, who was a sex offender at his Tractor Supply job. Y'all can just Google it, if you want to kind of see it. But he was a sex offender, invited our live decoy to the Tractor Supply to have sex in the bathroom. And he, said he was going to do all that, had child porn on his phone, and he ended up getting a life sentence for that. They got him on a lot of stuff. So he's currently rotting away in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And I'd say my favorite conviction so far, besides Jeff Griswold, might be Kevin Cook in Jewel, Iowa. We caught him in 2023. He admitted to actively molesting his own daughter. He set up a meeting with us posing as a pedo dad for us to come over and quote unquote play with his daughter. And he invited us over on a Sunday because he had custody of her that day. But we came obviously a little bit early. We didn't want to do it with her right there. So we showed up at his door earlier. And he ends up admitting that he is actively molesting his own daughter. Just broke down about it, said he had pictures of her on his phone, and he's doing 25 years in Iowa right now.
Wow.
Yes. Now that actually, thank you. That actually restarted my brain. I'm sorry. I got it was so much that overloaded. We had to turn off the freaking chat. But out of all the people that you processed, or all the people that you've caught and gained evidence on, how many of those people do you think were opportunistic type of predators, and how many people do you think were like, they're planning this, they've done this before, they're repeat offenders? Out of all those people, what do you think the percentage would be?
Almost everybody we caught in 2019 and 2020 were definitely opportunistic predators. Of course, there are exceptions. I mean, one of our longest sentences too, Mark Mallow, who's doing 131 years in Texas right now. We caught him in the San Antonio area in Converse. He was a teacher who was out on bond for child porn. We caught him, and we caught him with child porn. And we also got him going after a 14-year-old decoy. That was on a dating app. And obviously, he's not an opportunistic predator. He is a pedophile. But I'd say from 2021 onwards to now, I'd say over 99% of them are not opportunistic, and they're more so, this is what they do, this is how they think, this is how they're wired.
Are there?
So out of all the opportunistic killers, all the opportunistic predators, and all the people that have definitely like done this before, they've just been abusing multiple people. Which cases have been more heinous? The people that have been repeat offenders or the new offenders?
Oh, definitely repeat offenders. I mean,
repeat.
You know, with the opportunistic ones, it's more so there's less grooming going on. They just kind of get to the point, or they're just kind of like, you know, or there's like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Like it's basically like there's not a lot of grooming tactics they employ. Obviously, they need to be caught and arrested, and I think they need the same penalty as the non-opportunistic ones. But the ones who have been doing this for years are very, very, very just into it. I mean, they fall in love with the child. They it's fucked up. It's very.
That reminds me of the Starman. I got one more thing, and I promise you can go back into it.
Okay.
So how do you feel with some of the people that fell in love, like you said? Brings us back to our Starman thing that we've done. We exposed a person in our community, like she said, that was CD-ROM, and he had years of not only, how do I say it, doing PR for this guy, defending him, and I think allegedly may have been there when he was either grooming or offending.
Allegedly, he definitely put kids in situations to talk to this guy.
Yes, we definitely did. But as a legal way, the only thing I could say until we fully I believe it's not. But allegedly, was he being there and being defending and being a part of this? Do you think he is just as disgusting as Starman, or do you think he's just lost in the sauce when it comes to his friend?
So there was somebody who basically put minors in a situation to talk to this pedo.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yes. Defended him for years.
What was his reasoning for? Oh, so you knew he was a pedo, but still put minors in the situation.
He says that the guy is so mentally autistic and that he doesn't know what he's doing, and that he's tried to help this guy. This guy has been offending since 2013, and they are actively still friends as of this year.
Our DACA team. Could somebody send me the clip of CD-ROM on talking about Starman? I would like him to react to that just to see. But if you can give some more context, he basically knew all these allegations, and he said basically he's not convicted.
He said that he's the pedo's accountability partner.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the guy is currently still offending to this day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I went to jail earlier this year for a situation like that. Luckily, the case is resolved, but I got arrested in Missouri because there was just an endless offender, Joshua Teague, who's working at a Steak and Shake in Branson, Missouri, and he had gotten arrested in 2020 for sexually harassing an underage employee there. He sent her the 17-year-old 58 penis pictures just over the internet. He got arrested for it. And the charges inexplicably got dropped in 2020. I don't fucking know why this county kept defending him. And then we catch him in 2024, and he admits to molesting his own sister back in 2016 and admits to wanting sex with her decoy, sent penis pictures. He got arrested, but charges got dropped. And finally, in 2025, he's messaging the same damn decoy saying, those guys came and filmed a video of me, but I still want to have sex with you. And it's mind numbing. So I went to his job and raised a bunch of shit there. And I'm like, this person's a pedophile. His job wasn't too happy about it. And I got arrested for a felony harassment charge on the owner of the place, as if I even knew who she even was. But yeah, it was a shit show. But finally, they pressed charges on him, and actually it's sticking this time. But it's a shame that it took all that. I mean, it's fucking wild. But yeah, I mean,
really well, yeah.
In other words, these retards know what the fuck they're doing. My point is, he was also a little bit slow, but he knew full and well what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I've seen a lot of times. It's you'll see when you're interviewing them. Some of them seem slow, but it's the way that they're talking about this. They know the heinous acts that they're committing. It's not a secret. They try to keep it secret.
Right. I know.
No, that's crazy.
We've come across, we've come across one who, he was being perverted with our decoy, but I interview him in person. He's literally just drooling out of his mouth, and I'm like, all right, this guy would talk to anybody that messages him. So I just right there after 10 minutes, I'm like, yeah, we're done here. We're not doing anything. You can tell what the difference is. He's just like, huh? But it's
that's different. Yeah, that actually proves, because a lot of people think that you have no scruples when it comes to it, like you're just there for this. And that kind of gets me back to one of our original questions that I feel like we didn't ask you. It was at this point, I want to ask you, what drives you at this point And what really started you on this? Was it just because you were bored? Or is there something in your life that affected you that brought you on this path? Or what was it?
Well, no, luckily in our family, there was none of that. I realized that years later, my little brother was solicited by an online predator. When he was 13, he got basically tricked into sending, so an inappropriate photo on Snapchat. And at the time, we all thought, oh, he just sent it to some female his age and all that.
Mhm.
But it's like, but now, doing this now, it's like, wait a second, that was definitely an older man pretending to be a little kid getting that
Yeah.
photo from him. But he's fine and everything. It's not like I'd be lying if I said that's my driver for why I do. I realized it's after I started doing this, but I've always wanted to be a police officer. I've always wanted to quote unquote get the bad guys, and I've just always been like a doer. Always been just somebody who doesn't sit on the sidelines. Except in college football, I sat on the sidelines for that 1 year. But other than that, I'm not a sideline sitter. I like to do shit. And what drives me now? I mean, my God, we hear these pedos talk about molesting babies. I mean, how can you not want to keep doing this if this is what you're stopping? So that's the biggest motivation. Number two, it honestly pays pretty damn well. I'm employing my high school friends. We're very close with each other. We have a great time doing this. And
no, I agree.
Good.
No, that's a perfect answer I wanted. And Zay, that's the end of my line of questions.
I was about to say, I'm getting my question.
I said that's the end of my line. I know. I said that's the end of my line of questions. Go ahead. This is all you for now.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, since you've been doing this a really long time, and I know you mentioned like some of the early days, like things were a little different, like the police weren't as involved. Is there any situations that like almost like keep you up at night that you still think about that were like really fucked up that you never really got a solution to?
Well, I'm trying to think of a case that's like a got away where they should have, where it's just an egregious, well, I mean, we had a guy in Knoxville, and there's nothing that really keeps me up. I mean, I have a pretty clear mind from all this. Like, I don't think it affects me. I think I'm built for this. But we had a guy we caught. Me and Gideon caught him. Kial Beeler. He goes by Matthew Beeler. I guess it's an easier name to pronounce. We caught him in Knoxville, Tennessee, in December of 2024. And he admitted to molesting his own niece, gave the name, gave where it happened, gave all of that. Knoxville PD failed to investigate it. They failed to do anything. There's no follow-up from them. I asked for follow-up. There was none. And, it wasn't our first problem with Knoxville. In 2022, we caught a guy. He looked really a lot like Skeeter Gene. I forgot what his name was. But he admitted to child porn on his phone. Cops just let him walk away without even taking his – I mean, Knoxville PD fucking sucks. And we had a guy also in December 2024, Sean Murphy, who was going after the dad and the decoy son. I was posing as the dad. Mm-hmm. And he admitted to molesting two kids, gave their names, gave everything that needed to happen. And it happened in Texas. We caught him in Pennsylvania, but the molestation happened in Texas. And I found out exactly who the kid was. I found out who her mom was and her new stepdad. And I actually went to their house and like knocked on the door and, wanted to tell them like, hey, this is what happened. Do you guys want to file a police report about this? And nobody answered. I don't think anybody was home. I got in touch with one of them over Facebook, and it was a stepdad. And he gave it. I'm not going to accuse him of anything, but I will say it's suspect. I talked to him on the phone. I told him exactly what happened. He knew who Sean Murphy was. And he said that, but our kid doesn't show any signs of abuse, so we're going to just leave this alone. And that was pretty fucking heartbreaking. That was bullshit. That fucking hated that. So.
I have two donations for you really quickly. This one came in from Sam Bandit with the 20. He said, "Thank you for your courage facing absolute evil every day, Alex. Yeah. Just like Charlie Kirk, you are making a huge difference in the world, protecting those that can't protect themselves."
Super appreciated, man. Thank you.
And this next one is a question, which I did want to ask you anyways. Phantom with the 20 said, "Legit question for Alex. How does he feel about the proliferate?" I think he means
proliferation.
Yeah, proliferation of pred catchers like Trilogy Media, Skeeter Gene, and other big creators in this space.
Well, I mean, they're getting these pedos locked up. They're all doing a pretty good job. And if the pedos are going to jail, getting prosecuted. I think more people need to be doing it that way. You know, I think the ones like Dap who go around slapping them, I think they're a huge detriment, and I think they're retarded for doing that because it ruins prosecutions. But you know, as long as they're getting these pedos arrested and finding ways to do it, I support what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I know like Vitaly is like one of those like big ones who's been like getting prolific for it. How do you feel about him specifically? Because I know he's like got a big name for it and he does a lot of the pranking.
I think he's an idiot, and I think he deserves 20 years in the Philippines, not for fucking around with people there, but I think that's karma for him beating up that old lady in Florida where nothing happened to him. So I hope he fucking rots. And honestly, if I was running society, someone like Vitaly would get the death penalty for doing that. So I think he should fucking rot.
Real for that, honestly. Somebody Rudolph with a 5 just said Alex Rosen is way better than Chris Hansen. He has done more in 6 years than Chris in 20 years.
Well, Chris Hansen doesn't like other catchers too much, so you know,
really?
we got a lot more work to be done. But yeah, I think he just stands in and just interviews them. I don't think he does much else, but whatever.
Yeah, Chris Hansen has a lot of weird checkered past, but he kind of really brought it out there. I really can't say he's kind of like the godfather of catching.
Yeah. No, if it wasn't for him, I doubt a lot of this happened. Maybe somebody would have thought of it, but without him, I mean, he definitely is like a huge reason this is happening. So he gets props for that, but
regardless,
that's all I can really give him props for.
I feel that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people I know can be like really critical over people doing like the predator catching on YouTube specifically because they say a lot of it has to do with like farming views for clicks. What do you feel about like these criticisms?
Of course, it's farming views. If the sex offender registry also wants to farm views, that's why their faces are out there. Any video posted is to farm views. That's posted publicly. So a lot of these reaction channels make videos on this predator catching stuff and say this is just for clicks and views as they're posting a video that they make sure is monetized for clicks and views. So yes, that's how we make our money. That's how we're able to reimburse our travel costs to catch more predators. And yes, I look at our channel, Skeeter G and Gideon, us, all these other people doing it. I look at us as a more public sex offender registry now. And it's not just, and I think it's more effective than the sex offender registry because it's not just, you know, with their face in a charge that, you know, half the population doesn't even understand. It's their face, their city, everything they're admitting to. So there's no doubt that they should be a sex offender, whether they get prosecuted or not. There's no doubt that they should be on YouTube because of what they're admitting to. And I think it's a really powerful tool that's used for good.
Yeah. Speaking of like the views and aspects of it, I feel like that was a very good point that people don't think about. And a lot of people go back to your EDP catch and they criticize you and they say specifically that they feel like you're the reason that he didn't get caught. What do you feel about those criticisms?
Well, I think that's not true. We were in touch with Investigator Diaz from the Kern County Sheriff's Department. We turned in his chat logs where he showed his penis multiple times, where he solicited a sexual meeting and all of that stuff. We turned in his video confession of him saying he was going to do it. I think people should know now that not every place wants to play ball with prosecution. I know a lot of people probably watch Gideon here. He had to make a whole video calling out the Marion County, which is Indianapolis district attorney, for failing to prosecute a fucking boys volleyball coach for going after a boy that same age. So yeah, there's some district attorneys that don't want to play ball. If you see a person confessing on video to doing this stuff, there's chat logs to accompany it, like we showed a live stream of, and it's turned in. At that point, the ball's out of our court. Like, trust me, if it was up to me, obviously he'd be prosecuted. I want him prosecuted. That's why we turned in everything. But I think that should be pointed more towards the Kern County District Attorney. I forget what her name is, but she fails to prosecute these child predators, and I think she's a major problem.
Yeah. Well, that's really important to know. I think I got TTS turned off, guys. Sorry about that. But Sunshinery with the 10 just said, ask him about them catching their first female pedo about 4 days ago. How did it differ from catching a male? And I'm curious to hear if he believes that there will be more female cases.
Well, of course, there's going to be more female cases, but so that's not the first female we've caught. We've caught three others before. Two of them are now convicted pedos. The other one was not arrested. But Crystal Rose in Citrus County, Florida. Her and her sex offender husband went to go meet a 13 or 11-year-old. I forgot which one, but they went to go meet one of them for sex. And Crystal Rose, now a sex offender in Florida. She got no jail time, unfortunately. And then her sex offender husband, Jacob Rose, got 7 years. And then we also caught Rachel and William Burns in University City, Missouri. It was one of the most egregious cases we've ever had. They tried to go pick up an 11-year-old girl. Rachel brought her 2 toddlers with her to the meeting spot to obviously kind of blend in with this whole thing. William is a coward. He sent Rachel by himself to go do it. And he was obviously worried about a setup. So she was on the phone with him, and I had her separate the phone. And William didn't want to admit to anything, of course, but Rachel was talking about what they were going to do. And they got charged with attempted enticement of a minor in St. Louis County. And when they did their follow-up investigation, they found tons of child pornography, including videos of them molesting their own infant kids. And now Rachel and William are going to be sentenced. Rachel's going to be sentenced later this month. William's going to be sentenced, I think, any day now. But they've both pled guilty, and they're getting a minimum of at least 20 years in the feds.
Thank God, bro. It should be.
Yeah,
how is it
sure.
only fucking 20 years though? That shit should be fucking.
Well,
life.
that's the minimum they agreed to, but they can get up. William can get up to 40. Rachel can get up to 35. So I'm hoping they give him the max because it's enough already, man.
That also, I guess, brings up somebody donated for this question. Devastator with the 10 said, has anyone you've exposed ever actually willingly gone to therapy or improved themselves as a result, or are they pretty much guaranteed to reoffend if they aren't removed from the public?
I think they're guaranteed to reoffend. Somebody we caught in 2019 did follow through, go to therapy, all that stuff. I didn't end up posting his video, but I think that was more so me being just pretty much a naive kid at the time too. And this is before we've caught any pedo with child porn, before we've caught any pedo who admitted to molesting a real kid. And, I just basically bought a sob story at the time because when he was walking off, there's just something that came over me and my cameraman that this guy's going to commit suicide. So I called him back and I'm like, hey man, listen, if you show me progress and you get therapy, I will not post your video. And, props to him. He actually went through and did all of that. I met with him 2 other times to kind of see how it's going. And, I don't know if that was the right decision or not. It probably was not the right decision to do that. That's something I would not do now. But, I'm more experienced. I have more people experience now in 6 years of traveling every state, employing all these people. Back then I was like I said, less than like a year out of high school and shit. So I was kind of like still figuring out all this stuff. But yeah, that was the one time I did that. But now we've had 4 pedos commit suicide, and I'm not going to sit here and dance on their graves, but I'm also not going to mourn for them either.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no grief on my side there, but I'm not going to.
You don't wish death, but you're not going to be upset if it happens.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they all get freaking what they deserve.
Chipper.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be, but I'm not going to, swing my dick around and just, dance all over it. I'm still going to be graceful about it, but, they're a problem. They need to be eradicated.
Yeah. Fifth Nail with the 20 just said, do you believe that the most effective way to catch child predators is to outsmart them with technology or to change the environments and behaviors that allow them to operate in the first place, and why?
Well, the thing is, a lot of these online predators are not online predators. Like, Jeff Griswold, for example, the mac and cheese pedo, he was molesting kids for years. And without the internet, we wouldn't know that he was doing that. He would have gone to his grave, getting a 12-year-old pregnant in New Jersey. He would have gone to his grave molesting 3 of his grandkids. He would have gone to his grave molesting his own daughter. But because of the internet, he was able to latch onto a decoy account. Now all of those crimes he's being held accountable for, and he's going to spend the rest of his pathetic life in prison. Now, the drawback to that is he was able to access child porn. He was probably talking to more kids. And so it's like a double-edged sword. The internet's a way to catch them, to lure them out of their freaking shell that's kept secret for years. But it's also obviously access to kids. I mean, you see cases with Roblox where this guy kidnaps this 11-year-old girl. So it's really a double-edged sword. But I think the best way to get them is the internet and using the technology against them. But
have you guys ever done stings with Roblox or anything like that before? The guy that was just in our community, he was on Roblox, and Second Life was the other big one.
Say your mic cut off for a second. Say that again.
I said, have you ever done any stings on Roblox or like Second Life, IMVU, any of that stuff? The guy who we just got from our community, he was on Roblox and Second Life were his big two.
So we've had Schlep pass us on some Roblox pedos, and like kind of in those Discord servers associated with Roblox. And we've caught people who have used Roblox to basically solicit nudes from minors. Like we caught a Christopher Burton who's doing 15 years in Oklahoma right now. He was a sex offender with a Roblox account, talking to an 8-year-old girl, like talking to a real 8-year-old girl. We had a decoy on him. But we didn't decoy him on Roblox or anything like that. He just happened to have Roblox. And Lewis Hasty, who's in jail right now for a sex offender violation, and he's a sex offender because we caught him with child porn. He would use Robux to buy nudes from children. So we've got people who've used Roblox, but as for decoying specifically on there, we have not done that yet.
What are the main sites that you guys currently use to decoy on?
Platforms that you may know and not know. That's all I'll say.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to say, yeah. I don't think that's some. Yeah, that's kind of this. Yeah, no.
Some of them say, some of them don't. It depends.
I understand the question though. I'm not. I was thinking about asking that like a couple minutes ago. I was like, I don't know. But one weird, random question before I bring up this. No, I'll probably save it for later. But no, as much as we've told you about Starman, I just wanted to share this with him.
Oh, the video.
This is a quick. It's a quick, like 40-second blurb. Starman is openly shout out to Nightmare. If you one of our other shows in this network is called Lolcow Test. It's with a guy named Nightmare and Yo Mama. But Nightmare did I'm talking about deep investigative work.
Yeah.
Went into Second Life, went into all these chat rooms, got all these people to confess, gather all these recordings. Dude is like legit needs some rest and accolades. This horrible guy that solicited all these minors, fell in love with all these minors, disgusting things, hollowed out a fucking Sonichu with his penis. And this is his friend.
What's Sonichu?
Oh, not Sonichu, just a Sonic. I'm sorry.
And
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to send you the vid, but this is his friend defending him.
Starman is not a pedophile. He is not a convicted criminal. He's not a sex pest. He's not a registered sex offender. He's not in anything. But he is my.
Did I need you to click? Did you need to click on it? Do I need to go back?
No, yeah. I got it.
Hold on. All right, let me just go back for it. I did you what Zay does to me all the time. I should have waited. My bad.
Convicted criminal. He's not a sex pest. He's not a registered sex offender. He's not in anything. But he is my friend. I will admit to him being my friend. And what Keemstar said about me making a lot of friends, that's true. I, for the longest time, have accepted random friend requests from just about anybody on the internet. I'm autistic, and I wanted to make friends. God's sake. Starman also wanted to make friends. I know a lot more than a lot of all of you think that.
Well, that's what I really need to show. That's really the gist of it.
Yeah, you missed the line where he said that it's okay because he didn't touch anybody. He just gooned with some young.
Oh no,
folks.
I'm known for my soundboard, and this is a clip that he said when he buried himself completely.
And did he goon with some young folks?
And he said, "So yeah, so what? Did he like?
So what?
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about
that? Yeah, I mean the thing is, I still was not a good looking kid at all, so I didn't really get hit up too much by pedos online. But sending these kids getting solicited for nudes and sending nudes, it does affect them. It does do damage to them psychologically because it's still a power dynamic. I know it's online. It's not exactly the same as in person, but it's online. It's still a power dynamic that they get preyed on. And, it also normalizes the whole sex as a kid thing with adults. So when that adult comes along wanting to meet up in person and do this stuff, it's more normalized for the child. So, it's just one station on the assembly line of corruption to these kids. So I think these people who just goon with the boys or whatever, I think they're sick. And obviously, if you're consuming child pornography of adults, and I know that's not necessarily what we're talking about here, but of adults having sex with children, the way I look at it is you're sitting in the hotel room on the cuck chair watching that shit. You're a part of it, and you're condoning that abuse. So I think you also need to be the death penalty.
I agree.
Yeah, I hear that, CD-ROM. So you want to get back to it? I don't want to distract too much. I just wanted to bring that clip up.
That was good. So you've been face to face with a lot of these like dangerous people. Has there ever been a situation before where you were like worried that somebody might like snap and attack you? Like I know that there has been like situations where it's been hostile before.
Say, dude's huge.
I know.
How tall are
Getting
you?
physically attacked, hand to hand. I'm not. I mean, I certainly, am no world beater here, but, as if I have to like take someone to the ground, I can do that pretty easily.
More of like a weapon scenario, like,
yeah, it's
especially in
weapons,
Florida,
right,
like
right.
everyone's
Yeah.
strapped.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4", but we got chased with a gun in Massachusetts last year by John Rector. And that was scary as shit, man. All me and the camera guys all split up and ran in separate directions. And I had to run to this apartment complex, and I had to have for some freaking kid like let me into the building. I was like, let me in. And I'm glad he did, man. Because he had no reason to like freaking trust this 6'4" dude just screaming at him to let me in the building, but he fucking did. And that was wild. And then he also the pedo called me on my phone. And, he's like, where are you? And the reason he had my phone number is because I met him under the guise of giving him a package. And dude, straight up fucking demon, dude. Piece of shit.
Did he go to jail for that at all?
He got charged with the weapon stuff, but it was in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts fails to prosecute criminals too heavily unless they have a gun. So he only got charged with the weapon stuff, unfortunately.
What states would you say are the best with prosecuting, and then which ones are the worst?
The best is definitely Virginia, Oklahoma, Alabama, Illinois. Surprisingly, obviously outside of Chicago and Rockford, but everywhere else in Illinois is like almost always on an instant on-scene arrest. They're awesome in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say Texas, we're pretty good in Texas, but Arizona's good, Utah's good, lots of good states for it, but those are the ones that stick out to me.
Mm-hmm. Are there any that are like really bad? Like I know you mentioned Massachusetts. Any other ones?
Massachusetts sucks. South Dakota, we have a pedo arrested for hitting our camera. He hasn't been charged with sex crimes yet, so it's to be determined how they're going to be. We have one suicide in South Dakota. He definitely would have been charged with child porn, but he killed himself before the cops could do anything. He killed himself on scene. Tony Letcher, you can look it up. It was over the news last year. But yeah, I'd say bad state. Massachusetts sucks. Maine sucks. But man, I'd say South Carolina sucks. But I mean, we make it work in almost every state we go to, though. We make it work.
Are there any things what's the most controversial thing about you that you hate that people talk about?
Oh, I don't hate that they talk about anything, man. They're free to talk about whatever they want. I kind of, I think it's if they criticize, I think it's just kind of funny, and I like to engage with it.
Not even when people keep talking about going around saying the N-word all the time.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I do it, so it's like if they want to talk about it, they're free to talk about it.
Just to be clear, we cannot say that on this show. Just clear.
No, I'm not going to say it here, but I have the vocabulary I have. I mean, I think mainly what I've seen in the clips I've done is out of trolling and laughing and not give a fuck. Yeah, like I feel like you think it's funny. I think that you don't care what people say, and no matter what people label you, they can label you as a person that's a racist or whatever. You just don't care. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't care. They can do whatever they want, truly.
I think it's because people know that you're Republican leaning, so it's anything to get a W on that, maybe. But personally, I've seen the clips. I've gone over it. Like there's like a compilation, and it's like each one of them never really seemed too malice to me personally. If you don't give a fuck, personally, I don't give a fuck. But we have an old black guy in our community, and I swear if I didn't bring this up, he would have called me an Uncle Tom all damn day. So I had to get that shit out the pocket.
He's called you an Uncle Tom for less, honestly.
Yes.
I think putting so much value on a singular word is a sign of weak society, and I think we as a society, especially as men, need to move past that and get out of our feelings. And obviously, part of that is people just need to grow grow the fuck up and just get some nuts, man. I mean, stop being offended over words and just get out of it. I mean, it's just we need to be past that in 2025.
Yeah, they need to stop worrying about the black race and start worrying about the real race that's going to take over, which is the bald people. Me and Alex are going to take the fuck over. All you fucking people.
He's not
with hair
quite
out
there yet.
need to
He's got
watch
a little
out.
bit of hair still there. Okay.
No, I don't give a fuck. They got to watch out, Alex. You better tell them the real people that's going to take over.
Well, we're like in hibernation right now. In a couple of years, we'll be fully bald and ready to do it.
It's okay. You hair having fucks better watch out.
Speaking of words that have offended people, one of our we took a few questions yesterday, and somebody donated for this question specifically. They wanted me to ask you why you thought it was appropriate to call some underage girl hot, or how he puts real minors in danger. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, using them as decoys. I'm sure his answers will be great.
I don't know if I called an underage girl hot. What is he talking about?
That's literally all the donation said, with not a clip or anything. So I figured
think you were interviewing somebody and you were trying to butter them up so they could talk.
Oh,
and they're
okay.
taking you out of context.
Yeah. Obviously, you butter up the predators, and you can kind of nudge. I mean, come on, man, she's good looking, man. Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, of course. I also tell the pedos that, if they're like a coal miner in West Virginia, I say, oh, my dad was a coal miner in West Virginia. Or if the pedos are like we caught a Disney employee the other day who is very clearly not right wing. And I started shitting, and I don't even like Trump, but I started shitting on Trump from like can you believe that Trump is like a Russian asset and stuff, like, just spewing the talking points to him. So yeah, of course, we'll say things to the pedos to basically blend in and build a rapport with them. But, do I just call an underage girl hot in passing? No, I've never done that. But as for the live decoy stuff, we had my cameraman's little cousin be the live decoy a couple times. And, like I said, man, he was 16, we're 19 years old. And, we weren't making the best decisions back then. But, what are we going to do about it? We can just, figure it out.
Same donator.
I completely agree.
Has another controversial question to ask you, and this is the last one that's controversial. She said, ask him why he is okay with his cameraman being a Nazi. The guy has a picture of him Roman saluting in front of a Nazi flag.
He's welcome to express the views he wants to express. He's Hispanic. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
he's Hispanic, but and I'm a Jew, so I think. If I'm okay with it, actually anybody could be okay with him. I don't care. He films fine. I get along with him great. He's my best friend from high school, and it is what it is.
Okay. Well, I'm just glad I got those out of the way because I had to ask them for her. Those are really it when it comes to the controversial shit. I like the Lolcow universe. Everybody here, Keemstar has a controversial past. Boogie has a controversial past. So we're no subject.
I don't think it's too controversial. I think it's a lot more controversial to scam people, like Chris Hansen has, and kind of leave unpaid hotel tabs. But I will say that nobody who's worked with me will ever say that Alex was dishonest. Nobody will ever say that Alex fucked me out of this. Nobody will ever say that, Alex just treated me like shit. And that's why, you see all these so-called good people on the internet, they have a new crew, they have a new this, new that, replacing this, replacing that every single year. But we've had the same people working at Predator Poachers since 2019. Of course, we add more people, we never subtract. And we've had the same decoys at this point for years. And I think our continuity and the fact that we've been the same team plus adding people for pretty much all 6 years now, I think it says a lot about how we run things and how it is to work for us.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the collab catches you've done, which one has been your favorite? Because I know you've done a lot. Like you've done like Gideon and a bunch of ones.
Man, who am I going to piss off with this answer? This is the one that I'm actually more uncomfortable answering than anything else you asked.
Really?
Oh my God. This is the one where I'm actually like, fuck.
He's like, I was looking forward to the end.
You can name a few if you make other people jealous,
This actually put me on the spot. Man. Fuck.
That's funny that this is the one question.
This is the one that actually has me like, give me a second. This actually is the one where I'm like, okay, wait, let me explain myself real quick. Fuck. Oh my God, man.
As long as your answer isn't EDP, I think you'll be good.
Well, no, it's definitely not that. Oh my God, man.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I got him sweating, guys.
God. Man, you know what? I'm probably going to, this is probably a cop-out answer, but it's probably going to be PP Toronto.
I think I'm in to me, so black and black. And we will tune up by my live stream, so I want me streaming up for tonight, so be BCB upload on YouTube. I won't be streaming, so yeah. Subscribe if you're new and click the bell so you can be notified when I upload in my bye.